Hi everyone. Um, so you've got your Kickstarter cases you want to sort out, and I've now synced all of your data with my system. Done this for 300 of people, and now I'm going to go through the process of continuing with the order in my website. So firstly, if you can go through this, and hopefully it should be good for everybody who wants to order something from my site, but I'm specifically doing this for my Kickstarter backers at the moment. Right, so some of you will have received an email from me, from the system. There was a slight error on the link on there. It didn't put your order number, which still wouldn't have taken you to it, but so basically what I'll do is take you through the process of what you've got to do. So if you're an existing customer, it's slightly different than if you're a new customer. Right. So all your details are in here. But I don't have your address. I don't have your contact details, all that kind of thing, which we need for shipping. So there's a bunch of information that we do need. And so I'm going to go through that now. Now, the one thing I would like to advise is, please, before you press pay, make sure you've got everything you need. Okay, because I'm just as guilty as this, but I've got so many orders to process that if you do it over 2 orders, I forgot a couple of bits. I won't be separate. There'll be 2 separate orders, even if they ship together. I won't change anything. You'll pay 2 shipping, because it's so much hassle splitting them apart and refunding and all that kind of thing. So just make sure you've got the right stuff. The shipping, if the parts that you order include a mini case, they'll ship in July-ish. We will start shipping in July. Everything's looking good for July as it's in the Kickstarter, but of course it's going to take about a month to ship them all. But a month. Now, if your order does not involve the Kickstarter cases and you're allowed to order the parts, it's still, no, if you're going for the old cases, that kind of thing, you're not affected. As long as I've got stock, I'll ship them in the next batch. I tend to build every week or 2. But so again, this is specifically for Kickstarter backers. Right. Now, Mystics. Mystics in its guises. So there's basically 3 parts to Mystics. There's a board on its own. There's a mounting frame for the board on its own. And there's a complete pack. None of them can be ordered for 30 days unless you're a Kickstarter backer and you've got a mini case on order. So it won't allow you to add it on. Now, in that, what it basically means is the Kickstarter backers are getting first bite of the cherry and get the first batch. So if I sell out, there'll always be more. So if we sell more than we've actually got coming in, we've got 50 coming in. That's not a problem. We just order more. But I didn't want to order because I paid for them. And I have to be very careful. So only Kickstarter backers for 30 days will be able to order them. Now, if when that lot comes in, literally I'll be going through the order list and putting your name on the board, and it'll be put in a cupboard until we can ship it. So there'll be no dipping in and shipping to someone else. Right, so that's very important. So if you're asking the question, when can I order? I'm not a Kickstarter backer. 30 days from now, but that doesn't mean you'll get it then, because you'll probably be on the next batch. So it could be a couple of months after that. It's literally as soon as we can make them, we ship them to you. We don't want to hold things up, but it's physical. You have to make them. Obviously, if there's massive demand, I'll ramp up, but I'm being very careful about it. And in fact, you'll notice these boards are a little bit more, the bare boards are a little bit more expensive than I'd actually like. I will, over time, try and reduce the cost, because in my mind, it's a little bit high. I think the complete kit's a good value. Personally, I think they're good value, so I'm not so much worried about that in the total value. I think they're actually very good value, but it's the boards alone that are a little bit expensive. Right, so let me go through this process. So you say you got the email, or you've come into my site, and you want to find your order for your cases, your mini case from the Kickstarter. Anyway, so all you have to do is if you clicked on the link in the email, or you click on login, okay, which the email link will take you to here anyway. What you need to do is you need to press the reset password. Okay, I'm not going to go through the process. We all know how this works. You click in there, you type in your email address, you press the reset. Now this is the email address that you registered the Kickstarter with. You cannot use any other email address because the account has been set up in that name. Don't ask me to change the email address because I won't. Right, and this is absolute, probably still won't, because it's a security thing. Anyway, so do that, go in there. It will say put the email address in there. It'll send the email to the registered Kickstarter email address. Follow the instructions, and it will just ask you to create a new password. What that will then do is it will then, when you've created your password, you'll be able to log in. So here's my login and password. It's fairly obvious, all this stuff, and you can see I've got 2 orders. Right now, if you're an existing customer, say you bought the last Kickstarter and that binging's annoying me, I've already cancelled one recording, but I'm not this time, you will have another order. So this is your list of orders, okay? But the top one, you can see all the ticks, the red crosses, sorry, and this is the one we want to click on. So click to open. That's now going to take you in here. Now ignore the fact that it's got this here, yeah, right, ignore that because you will not see that yet, because you can see at the top, if you see right at the top here, there's ticks, four ticks, okay? You will have 3 red crosses there, and that's because you've got to go in and put in the details in there, which you haven't done yet. And once you've got 4 ticks there, then this box will appear and you can pay, although you'll probably notice if you do it a bit too quick, well, in fact you won't be able to do it at the moment, because it will say it's locked, and that's because I've stopped taking payments until I'm happy with everything set up right. Anyway, if I scroll down, you'll see on the right hand side, so I've got a black deluxe mini case and a white basic mini case. Yes, I've had to make a little bit of a change. Right, anyway. So you can see what I've got, my 2 cases that I've got ordered here, and you'll see underneath it says switch colour. So basically what that means is that you cannot remove or delete these cases, because that's what you've paid for in the Kickstarter, and this is what we are to provide you. However, I am allowing you to swap the colour. I prefer if you could do the swap colour fairly quick, because I need to know how many to make, obviously. But so all you'd have to do is you press the switch colour and it will switch the colour, obviously, but only for the same case. Okay, the basic will switch from black to white. Simple as that. In these main details, if we go into customer details, so you can see here's my email address, and now it's very important you've got your country in here. And if either the customer details or the delivery have a UK address, you pay VAT. Okay, it's very important that. So you have to, that is crucial. You pay VAT, and because we, obviously, if you're a UK resident, because it will get shipped to your delivery address. That's very important to understand, just in case people try to get around it. And then you'd have VAT added, obviously. Delivery address again, same thing again. When you're doing it, just once you filled in the customer details, your address and details there. You can use, if you press the use customer details, it'll populate this. Now, every now and then someone tries to be clever and they won't put their contact telephone number in. Your order don't get shipped. It doesn't get shipped. 3 or 4 occasions I've been making them all up, and I've got to the paperwork and I've done the paperwork and they haven't put it, or they put no. Get the case, stick it in the back, forget about it, it goes in the next batch, and I have to contact you to say, give me your telephone number, put your telephone number in there. It's very important your telephone number goes in there. I know people think that's no, because the couriers need it to make sure they can get it to you. Okay, they need a contact number so they can send you the SMS messages and that kind of thing, or contact you if there's a problem. So it does say it's a mandatory, but people have been putting 000, and I don't do a proper check. I will tell you, it will go to the back of the queue. Okay. Right. So, the final thing: terms and conditions. You cannot pay for this thing. That box there will not appear unless you've got ticks all along the top. These all have to be ticked. Yeah, all these across the top here will have to be grey ticks, and then the payment comes up. You must tick the terms and conditions. Click the link by all means and read it. There shouldn't be anything in there that's going to make you unhappy, but we have to do that. Okay. And then press save, and each time you make a change there's a save button in each section. Make sure you do it in each individual section. Okay, so that's important, that bit. Right, so if all you're doing now is you're going to pay for that, if you click on view invoice and scroll, you can see there's no invoice number because you haven't paid yet. Your invoice number gets generated when you pay. And that's how the system works. And once you've got your invoice number, I ship in order of invoice number. Okay, that's how it works. So the quicker you get it done, I know it means paying early, but the quicker you get it done, the quicker I will ship yours. Post and packing, obviously, you can see total cost. Now it says it's only the UK customers that are going to pay VAT. Everyone else is zero VAT, as far as I'm concerned. What your country does is I'm not in control of that. Okay. I'm just not in control of it. But what we'll do here is now, so your payment will be in there, and it will. It's not actually showing here. Actually, it's not showing my my Kickstarter money, but you'll see that will appear in this list about the money you've already paid will become off that. So that would not be your figure. If for some reason it's not registering your Kickstarter money, I can go and look at your order and check it. But it should have a column that says Kickstarter balance or something like that, and then that comes off the figure. Okay, that's quite important. Anyway, as you can see, the credit card charge. Some people say, "Well, can I do a bank transfer?" Originally, I used to do it 0, but then we was always getting charged bank transfers. In fact, we were getting charged more sometimes than the 2.5% credit card charge. So, yeah, you'll always have that charge. Unfortunately, it's just a cost of processing the money. Right, so that's that. Now, so we've got your cases there and you want to know what to do. Right, so now what we're going to do now, so you've got everything there, but actually what you want to do is you want to add some bits to it. So let's go and have a look at the products. Now, you'll notice that the mini cases are not showing, okay? Actually, you may find... okay, this is gonna figure, isn't it? Right. What I'm going to show on the live side. You have to forgive me because I've got this slight problem in that I've locked down the live system, and here we go. I've locked down the live system, but I want to show it working, but I can't because I've locked it down, so you can't make changes. So I'm bouncing between development. But let's have a look in the products now. When you go into the products, you can see in here. I want you to see all this. So you can see the Mystics pack. Now, only people who've ordered a case can add the Mystics products. All right. So that's 30 days. In 30 days, I will turn that off and everyone can order it. But it's just to give the Kickstarter backers a heads up. So Kickstarter backers out there, if you do want to get in and get one, you really need to do it within 30 days. Okay, that is very important. Now you notice the price. Nearly everyone's going to be expat because about 20%, 25% are going to the UK. The rest is going around the world. So you can see the prices are ex-VAT and UK price. But so we've got here, and if you want to know more information about it, just click product details, takes you in. Now, you'll notice that frame doesn't look right. That's not the actual mount frame for this card. I'm getting that designed and made prototype tomorrow. I just put it there for a picture. But basically what you get is you will get the back frame with holes for these panel mounts here. Okay, where if you follow my cursor, these panel mount parts here to mount at the back, and you get all that in the kit, and you get the Amiga Forever, and you get the 32 gig. You basically everything you need to put that in, and it'll be up and running. So if you want the complete system, you need one of them. Now, if you're building a complete system, then you will probably going to want a power supply. Okay, now So you're going to want a power supply. So you can see here we've got SFX ones now. I have not actually, you'll see it says this is a placeholder image because we've not finalized the final power supply. I know the price it's going to sell for, and you can see it there, £39 plus VAT if you're in the UK. But you're going to need a power supply to power it. And for people who say to me, can we use a Pico? No, because by the time I bought it's no. Okay, we've got these. I don't want to call them budget because that sounds like cheap. Which we're going for good quality but inexpensive. Because normally when you buy these SFX power supplies, the prices are ramped up very high. So, but this is so low power, 200 watts. Now, important, do not build a PC. Don't put that in and build a PC. Okay, it's not up to the job. But it is complete overkill for the Mystics, the Unamiga, and the Raspberry Pi. It just makes life a bit more convenient. So you will have all these connectors. You will be able to plug extra bits inside it, and it's overkill, but it's there. The next thing you might need is keyboards. So if you're buying a Mystic, so let's stick with the Mystics at the moment. Right. So if you're let's get back from it. Right. So say you want a keyboard. Now you can build your own. You can buy your own keyboards. Okay. Let me go for the keyboard kits. Now I've already covered this subject, but if you can see these keyboard kits, right, let's click on one of them. Now you can see the price, £29, excluding VAT. If I click in here. The eagle-eyed among, well, first of all, if you think that's a great keyboard, which I think is fantastic, keycaps, there's only one thing for me that upsets me, and that is the fact that it's not ISO. And if you don't know what that means, you won't be bothered by it. But also, you can see down here the A, the left-hand one should be solid. That was a mistake in the prototypes. The final ones will be solid. Okay, they'll be fine, and that one's hollow. But it's not ISO, and ISO basically is that big fat one that goes there. That's how the Amiga keyboard's always ISO. Unfortunately, I've covered the story. The people who make these can't do ISO. It's a shame, but they've made lovely quality keycaps at a good price. So I'm sticking with this and just foregoing the ISO. If you don't like that, fine. There's a company called wasdkeyboards.com. They'll make you upset, and if you want, I can give you the design file from Renee Cousins, so you can make that keyboard. No problem at all. It costs you about £50 plus shipping. Something like that. They're quite expensive, but so if you can live without the big fat keyboard, the return key, these do look nice, and on the keyboard they look fantastic. So now, they come in the white and grey, white and beige, and dark grey. It's important. They're not black, right? They're not black. They're dark grey. But it is very dark grey. As you can see, they look black, but they're not black. They're dark grey. Important to understand that. So if you want to get a keyboard, we obviously do a keyboard. And I really like these keyboards actually. These are the keyboards I've gone with. Now you'll notice the top one has got red keys and the bottom one's got brown. All keyboards are red keys. It was only because I wanted to test the two and see which I preferred. I prefer naturally red switches. I know a lot of people don't. Some people say like blue. I hate blue with a passion. But the brown ones are not too bad. They feel rough, but some people like that. Okay, but they're reds. Okay. If you want browns, there are plenty of suppliers of keyboards that you can just go out and buy them. Make sure they're Cherry MX, or as in the case of these, are Cherry MX clones, right? And I have got original Cherry keyboard, and you can slightly tell difference. They are slightly better, but it's not that much difference. And these are lovely keys. I've already covered this, but that's the key. So you notice there's no keycaps on it, right? I didn't want to be taken because I'm saving $1, okay, but I didn't want to waste. I throw them away. Okay, we're trying to do what we can, especially plastic. So we've ordered these without keycaps because obviously you're going to buy the keycaps from us. That would be the obvious plan. So you get your keycaps. So if you're going to do that, you can either buy the keycaps from us. You don't have to buy the keyboard. You can buy the keycaps alone and get your own keyboard. That's fine. You can get your own keycaps and own keyboard. I don't mind. But if you want them, they're there. So that's the Mystic. So for Mystics, you need a power supply, a keyboard, obviously, and you need the complete kit. in the case, right? So what if you want an Amiga? Okay, so you need the Amiga. Now I'm only selling it as a pack. It's a the pack. Let me open this up in here. So you get the pack. Now there is actually a little Wi-Fi serial board on there, right here. This one hasn't got it on, but I sent it back, and the new ones will have it. But this comes with the mounting frame. It also comes with a 32 gig SD card, and it comes with Amiga Forever, and everything's set up. So all these bundles will be set up, ready to go. Put it in, off you go, right? And so that's nice. That's a complete pack, and I think that's a reasonable price. Where's it gone? $229 ex VAT. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's got like it's got a load of software included with it, so I think it's pretty good. So that's the Amiga. Oh, of course, then if you're building an Amiga, you're going to need a power supply again, right? So you need to order one of these power supplies. You don't have now. Again, if you're building it yourself, you don't have to. You can just do what you like. You need to know what you need if you want to buy a different product. Even if you want to do a Pico power supply, fine. You're going to have a great big hole in the back, but you know, fine. So if you're doing that, if you're ordering an Amiga, it's important to understand these keyboards will not work with the Amiga. The Amiga is a PS2 keyboard and mouse. PS2, not USB. And don't fall into the trap where you think it's, oh well, I can get a USB adapter to PS2. Most keyboards, USB keyboards, do not support the PS2 protocol. It will not. These two don't. They will not work with it. It tells you on there, do not buy for an Amiga. However, got you covered. So what I managed to find is a whole load. Let me scroll down here. Right, let's go through these in order. I'll come back to that one in a minute. Actually, I'll come back to the Mystics in a minute. That's what Mystics get. Right, see these keyboards here. These keyboards, I've managed to. They're brand spanking new. They've been stuck in a warehouse. Okay. Let me close some of these down, and we'll go through it. This is only if you want the Amiga. Okay. So now these are budget keyboards. But this is actually, I'm expecting everyone who's going to buy an Amiga to buy one of these. Because basically it's a white keyboard with a white mouse. Alright, now I'm going to get some little boing ball stickers so you can put them over those stupid Windows ones. And you'll be able to put my logo over the top of that, or put another badge over the top of that. But the reality is that actually it is a budget keyboard. I'm not going to kid about it. It's a budget keyboard, but you've got a keyboard and a mouse, and they both work. So I've got these up at £12.50, which is, you know. Now, if you've already got a PS2, now bearing in mind on the Amiga you can plug in a normal Amiga mouse. And if you've got an Amiga mouse, and all you need is a keyboard, right? I've got 2 or 3 solutions, but I have very few of these. So I've got these. I've got about 10 of these, which again they're just little standalone. You can still buy that, but you can buy this little one. There's about 10 of them. Once they're gone, they're gone. There will not be any more of these because I managed to find a supplier with a whole load. I got in total, I got about 100 keyboards, and that's it, no more. And they're all white. It's very important. So you're better off ordering it. If you're getting an Amiga, you should be getting a white case anyway. There's that one, and there's also the digital company. The reason why it's more expensive because it costs me more money to buy. They are in quality. The keyboard quality on that one's probably the lowest. It's usable and it's fine and it works. Okay, I'm happy to sell them, but they're nothing compared to the lovely USB mechanical ones and those dome whatever they are, membrane things. This one comes next. The keyboard is better. And that one's a bit better even more. But if you want a really nice keyboard for the Amiga, this is the one I use, and I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there's my one sitting there, and I use one of these. Okay, I've only got about 20 of these, but I fell in love with these. Now they're not mechanical, just because it says Cherry, they're not mechanical. They come in a nice box, right? They're just a nice quality keyboard, and they feel nice, and they're just nice. Okay, so if you want a nice keyboard, but again, there's only 25. Once they're gone, literally once they're gone, they're gone. But I love that one. Right, okay, that's the keyboard. So that's the Amiga basically. and you need an Amiga, I would suggest you buy a keyboard and mouse set. I mean, I really would, because you're going to struggle to get PS2 keyboards and mice. It's very hard to get. It's worth buying them. That's why I'm making them as cheap as I can. I was lucky I managed to get them they were wanting to get rid of them, and I tested them and they were fine. Right, let's come back to mistakes. So if you now this is this is not for me building. If you order these next two bits, I'm just putting them in a box and sending them. Okay. So if you've already got a DE10 Nano, right, and you just want to build the system, what you're going to need is one of these boards here. Okay. Now, this is the final prototype, you can see, because there's a couple of patch wires down the bottom. But all intents and purposes, it's finished. But the production versions are black, because I begged him to do them in black, and so they're black and they look really nice. And what you do is you fit your own D10 Nano on there. I've got instructions in the book. In the manual, there's this manual if you haven't already seen it. It's a lovely manual. It's going to have all the instructions, picture guides, everything on how to build these. Alright? But they are really nice. They are. However, the price, I know the price is a little high, and people say, I know, I'm sorry, but tough. I don't make much money on these boards at all. But, we are going to try and get the price down a little bit. In an ideal world, I'd like it under £100. And it won't go less than that, really, because and I don't know whether we can reach £100, but it won't go less than that because you've got to make money out of it. It's a complex board, as you can see. There's quite a few components on there, and it's two boards, see what I mean now. So if you're gonna, you need to know what you're doing now, right? Because you don't get the manual with this, right? I can give you a PDF of the manual by all means, but you don't get the big thick manual unless you buy the case. So if you buy the board alone, right, you really do probably want this fitting kit. Now, what this kit is, again, that back plate is not it. That's the Amiga one. Okay, so but that's only because this board only arrived this week, and so I'm going down tomorrow, and I'm getting the Mystics root panel made. So that's just in the stopgap. But what you can see here is these are the cables. Obviously, on the back of the Mystics, you can see all the connectors. But there's RJ45, and there's HDMI, and they will mount on the rear of the panel because there'll be cutouts at the back. And don't say, "Oh, there's nothing there." I've just said it, bro. It's not. This is the Amiga. So there'll be cutouts there, and you'll mount these on the rear, and the whole thing will go in and just drop straight into the back. Now, if you buy just the board alone, you're not going to get that frame, and you're not getting the rear panel. There's no rear panel. This is the rear panel, okay? Because it's too expensive to make those stamp out ones. But this is much better. And all you do is you get this frame, and you screw it into the mini ITX, any mini ITX case including ours, screw it in, but you screw it with the hex spacers, brass spacers, screw them 4 spacers in, and then you screw the Mystics on top of the spacers, and then you connect these and screw these to the back of the plate, and then it's all done. Everything's on the back that you want. And now you'll notice there's a dual USB connector there. If you can see, I don't know if you can see this here, this little connector there on the right hand side there, that's a USB header, and you plug those connectors into there, and that then gives you this. You will have 7 USB outputs, 2 there, 4 here. Now this one's the 9-pin is using a USB header. Right, so I'm not covering anything to do with the Plus because people know all about that. Obviously, you can't put risers on. Don't ask. One interesting thing that might be something you might want to think about on the final Amiga, I asked Edu to put the headers so that you can use an Amiga 500 keyboard, an original Amiga 500 keyboard, because he had it on the first one because you could put it in. I asked him to put it back on again, so you can use an original Amiga keyboard. And the reason for that is it is an expensive way of doing this. If you've got an Amiga 500 keyboard, you can buy, most of my customers know about this, but there's this cable kit, right? And it's not cheap, this I must admit. So it's the cable kit that you need to use my case, and you can get my cases, keyboard cases. They're aluminiums, they're nice and light, but they're not cheap. These are not cheap to make, unfortunately. So, but these two you can get them in black and white, and then you can put it's designed so you can drop a 500 keyboard in there with the cable kit, and it comes with the cable. It comes out the back, big USB cable, not USB, sorry, custom cable comes out the back, plugs into the back of the Mystics. And in fact, not the Mystics, I keep saying Mystics, on the Unamiga. If you look at the Unamiga, well, that is the plate. This is the plate for the Unamiga, and you can see this hole. That's for our cable plugs in, and then another cable inside plugs into the Unamiga board and gives you that capability. Now, that's up to you. But it's obviously going to be a bit more authentic than for a lot of people. Right. So let's go back to here. So if you want to add, I mean, literally all you got to do, so you've got my orders. I'm assuming I'm still logged in. Let me just make sure. Yep. So I'm going to add an Unamiga. So we go to the add down here, press add, and that'll take me to my order. And you can see now I've got my two cases, got my Unamiga, okay, and that's all sitting there nicely. And then if I click on view invoice, it's got all my products in there, etc., etc. And again, don't forget, if you're a Kickstarter backer, there'll be a line here saying remove the money you paid on Kickstarter. That full amount of money will come off of this. Okay. Anyway, so look, I hope that kind of answers everything. I mean, literally from now on, all you do once you've got everything on it that you want, you click to pay. Right, that will take you to the payment system. And it's a credit card system. I don't take PayPal. Don't ask me why. I think I'm really not happy with PayPal. There's a very good reason for me not using PayPal, which I was made aware of with the last Kickstarter. And basically, they would have just held the money, and I'd never have got it. So it's all going through normal, just credit cards. It's the credit cards out. You pay for it, and then now it's one little thing when you pay for your product. Occasionally, what happens is you make your payment, it's all good, but my system doesn't show as marked as paid. Don't panic, okay? Don't pay again if you know you've paid. Don't try paying again. I've had one person do that, and I had to refund it. It's not a problem. I'll refund it, but all it is, just send me an email, tell me that it didn't mark as show as paid. Then I'll check on my system, because every time a payment, next day I get an email that tells me you've paid with the status, if it failed or it was okay. And then I will go in and manually mark it as paid. So don't worry about that, because that does happen. I mean, like 1 in 20 or 1 in 25 this happens, and it's usually a timeout problem. Okay. I think that's about it. Hopefully everything else is fairly straightforward. Again, thanks for backing the Kickstarter campaign. And if you've got any questions, ask me questions. My email address, you can see, is steve@imaker.net. It's on the site, it's everywhere. Ask me a question. I will respond pretty quick. And yes, I know you're having to pay early. I apologise for that, but this gets you at the front of the queue. If you're not worried about being at the front of the queue, don't mind waiting. You can pay later. It's fine. But the problem will occur if a lot of people do it and they don't change. What I really need is your address and all that stuff, and all those ticks turned on at the end. That's actually quite important. And also that you keep you do your colours early. Because if you change your colours from the original, it could be, I might put it to the back of the queue, because it might be I've run out. I shouldn't do. If everyone went from white to black and I've got 50-50 of each, you can understand. So yeah, if you can do that as soon as possible if you want to make any changes. But yeah, so I think that's about it. Any questions, get in touch, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much once again. Thanks a lot. Bye.